Welcome to the Bible Difficulties and Answers podcast. I'm your host, Lance Smith, your trusty tour guide through the wild jungle of life's biggest questions. We're in week 9 of our 20-week Sunday series unpacking J. Steve Miller's Faith That's Not Blind. Grab the show notes for links, resources, and mind-twisting extras. Last week, we dove into the mind-boggling complexity of the earliest cells, marveling at their microscopic factories. Today, in episode 9, we're zooming out to explore the complexity of living creatures, asking whether their intricate designs, think bacterial flagella and bird wings, point to a cosmic engineer or a cosmic crapshoot. Buckle up for a wild ride through biology's greatest hits. Picture a bacterial flagellum, a microscopic outboard motor propelling single-celled organisms like tiny speedboats. Or imagine the leap from a lumbering land dweller to a soaring bird with feathers so intricate they'd make a fashion designer jealous. In Faith That's Not Blind, pages 58 to 61, Miller dives into the work of biochemist Michael Behe and microbiologist Michael Denton, arguing that the staggering complexity of living creatures suggests a purposeful, intelligent design. Could these biological marvels really assemble themselves through blind, naturalistic processes, like a jigsaw puzzle solving itself in a windstorm? Let's unpack the evidence with the curiosity of a kid dismantling a gadget to see how it ticks. First up, Michael Behe, a biochemist from Lehigh University, introduces us to irreducible complexity. On page 58, Miller explains Behe's view. Features like the bacterial flagellum, a molecular motor with over 40 unique protein parts, require every piece to function, like a mousetrap needing its spring, base, and hammer all at once. Remove one part, and it's as useful as a boat without a motor. Behe, no young Earth creationist, believes in an old universe and common ancestry, but argues that purely Darwinian processes can't explain these systems. Imagine trying to build a working car engine by randomly tossing parts together over millions of years. Good luck getting it to purr without a blueprint. Behe's book, Darwin's Black Box, dives deeper, and Miller points us to a blog post at evolutionnews.org for a visual of the flagellum's complexity. Check it out. It's like seeing a sci-fi engine under a microscope. On page 59, Miller describes the flagellum's 40-plus protein parts working in seamless harmony, like a pit crew at a Formula One race. Behe asks, how could this motor evolve bit by bit when half-built versions offer no survival advantage? It's like expecting a propeller to stick around for eons while waiting for the rest of the boat to show up. Richard Dawkins counters with an analogy. Roman arches seem impossible, but are built with temporary scaffolding that's later removed. Maybe biological systems had similar scaffolding and then vanished, making them appear irreducibly complex. But here's the kicker. Dawkins' idea is a hypothesis, not evidence. It's like saying a cake baked itself because the kitchen might have had a magical mixer that disappeared. Behe's point stands. Naturalistic, step-by-step assembly strains credulity. Now, let's spread our wings with Michael Denton's Evolution, A Theory in Crisis, highlighted on pages 60 to 61. Denton zooms out from cells to complex creatures, like birds with their lightweight bones and intricately interconnected feathers. Evolving from a non-winged creature to a winged one sounds simple, but it's like turning a bicycle into a jet fighter. Each tiny step, say a slightly feathered arm, needs to offer a survival edge. Yet, half-formed wings could be a liability, like carrying around a pair of broken umbrellas. Denton argues that the classical Darwinian mechanisms, mutations and natural selection, fall short of explaining such transformations. Miller notes that even Charles Darwin, in his final edition of Origin of the Species, admitted natural selection wasn't the whole story, hinting at a broader view that might align with Denton's skepticism of simplistic evolutionary models. Here's where it gets spicy. Not all evolutionists agree. On page 61, Miller points out that Stephen Jay Gould, a Harvard evolution expert, called out Richard Dawkins's rigid Darwinism as fundamentalist. Gould's critiques in the New York Review of Books argue for a more pluralistic view of evolution, suggesting Dawkins' explanations oversimplify nature's complexity. It's like watching two chefs argue over whether a single spice can flavor an entire feast. Gould says the recipe needs more ingredients. Meanwhile, Behe and Denton suggest a chef with a plan, not a spice rack tossed into the wind. So where do we land? Miller, on page 60, admits he's no biologist, but finds naturalistic explanations a stretch, like expecting a smartphone to evolve from a pile of silicon. The theistic view, backed by Behe's flagellum and Denton's feathers, posits a purposeful intelligence, echoing Psalm 139:14, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. It's not blind faith. It's like marveling at a skyscraper and inferring an architect, not a tornado. Still, Miller encourages us to wrestle with the question. On a scale from 0, not convincing, to 10, totally convincing, how persuasive is the design argument for complex structures? Email your thoughts to bibledifficultiesandanswers@gmail.com. I'd love to hear where you stand. For more, dive into Behe's Darwin's Black Box or Denton's Evolution, a Theory in Crisis, both listed on page 61. Dawkins' The Blind Watchmaker offers the naturalistic counterpoint, but don't miss Gould's reviews for a broader perspective. All links are in the show notes, along with a visual of that flagellum on our Facebook page to blow your mind. It's like discovering a tiny spaceship in a drop of water. Let's wrap this like a well-folded protein. The naturalistic view, complex creatures from random chance, is like expecting a symphony to emerge from a toddler banging on a piano. The theistic view, as Miller, Behe, and Denton argue, sees a conductor guiding the orchestra. Romans 1:20 nails it. Through everything God made, they can clearly see His invisible qualities. Next Sunday, episode 10, we'll explore another layer of this cosmic puzzle, building on the intricate designs we've uncovered today. Check the show notes for links, join our Facebook page, shoot me an email at bibledifficultiesandanswers@gmail.com, share this episode with a friend who geeks out on science, and drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, or wherever you listen. It fuels our mission to spark curious minds. All episodes are at bibledifficultiesandanswers.podbean.com. I'm Lance Smith, wishing you good luck, good health, and God bless. So long, everybody.